You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, CBS soap opera fans. It's Soap Dirt on YouTube. We have got some spoilers we want to talk about for next week about Ridge and Brooke and Taylor. And we are wondering if Ridge and Brooke are secretly hooking up behind everyone's back. We have a good reason to be asking this, and we want to dig into it deep because there is big movement in the Taylor, Ridge, and Brooke triangle coming very soon, and that relates to the next week of spoilers ahead. We're going to talk about all that and whether there might be some secret romance going on that nobody knows about. So let's dig into that. But first, if you haven't already, reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, casting news, comings and goings, all the stuff you need to know about B&B on CBS. All right, let's dig in. So this week we saw Taylor come to confront Brooke about hiding things from her. The conversation started out about Brooke hiding her ongoing animosity about Thomas from Taylor. As far as Taylor was concerned, Brooke had accepted his apology and had agreed for him to come work for Hope for the Future again, as long as, Hope Logan consented, which she has. And Hope is fine. She and Thomas are working fine, but it seems like Brooke is still drinking the haterade where Thomas is concerned. To be fair, a lot of fans are still as well. But even so, Brooke has not said one harsh word about Thomas in front of Taylor, yet she has no problem unloading a lot of venom in front of Hope. And now that Taylor knows about it from Thomas, she wants to know what else Brooke is keeping from her. When she asked Brooke that, Brooke had this flash to her sitting on her sofa, Ridge sitting on the coffee table. They were very close, and her telling him, don't tell Taylor about this. Now, of course, that was, I believe, the scene from the same night that we saw she had gone upstairs and she had put on some lingerie, and then she just happened to come back down while Ridge was finishing his wine. And then her robe just fell off, as it does. Who can control a bathrobe? And then Hope saw it and chewed her out and said, I think that you're violating the pact. I don't think as of the point of that scene that they were violating the pact, but I am honestly wondering if there's off-screen romance happening between Brooke and Ridge, if they are hooking up off-screen, and there's reasons to suspect that it's true. I'll tell you why. First, Bold and the Beautiful has done almost whole romances off screen. You will hear about stuff and it's like, okay, well, we didn't see any of that. For instance, when Eric Foster was first getting with Quinn Fuller, Bold and the Beautiful picked up like mid-fling. They had already been sleeping together for a while in her ratty motel. And the first time we saw it, because I remember I was like, whoa, why is John McCook, full Monty with just a sheet on? Like, he's an octogenarian, isn't he? I don't know if he's that old, but oldish for sex scenes. And then it came out that they had met and they had been carrying on. So there was this whole thing, and they dropped us into it, mid-fling before anybody else knew. So the audience found out right before other characters found out. That's one case. And then another was with Carter Walton and Katie Logan. There has been some dates and romance and maybe some nookie going on that we didn't see. And then like the other day, they were just in bed and they were talking about, seeing each other and this and that. So it feels like we have been deprived of a great bit of Carter and Katie romance. And I know that Heather Tom stays really busy with directing gigs and other things. And Lawrence St. Victor, who plays Carter, is actually a writer for the soap opera. He's pretty busy behind the scenes as well. So, and also the fact is that Bold and the Beautiful is only a 30-minute show, which is 13 to 15 minutes of actual content. So it's very hard to develop simultaneous plots. That's one of the things that's just rough about this show, that generally one, maybe two storylines at once versus your 1-hour soaps that have multiple storylines going. So Bold and the Beautiful has a history of romances off screen. Also, Brooke Logan has a history of sleeping around on the sly. Think about a few years back, it was like 7 years ago. In Katie's bedroom, Brooke had to hide under the bed because she was in there with Bill. And I don't think that's the first time Brooke has had to hide under a bed. Plus, do you remember that when Bill was married to Katie, Brooke and Bill had this secret nookie room that he had built at Spencer Publications that was right off his CEO office, and they would go in there and they were rationalizing it with the excuse that they weren't having full on penetrative, nookie. I don't want to use certain words, but they weren't technically having intercourse. So they somehow had rationalized it. So when it comes to rationalizing, Brooke certainly can. When it comes to sneaking around and sleeping with people that she's not supposed to be sleeping with, well, she's shown that she's capable of doing that too, as has Ridge Forrester, by the way. Okay, because he walked out on Brooke, went to pursue Taylor, and was in bed with her before he had even properly, I think, explained things to Brooke. So these are two people that have a history of being naughty on the sly. So I think it's a valid question. Is there a Brooke and Ridge off-screen romance? And looking at the spoilers for next week, I have very specific reasons to think it is. It may not turn out that way, but this is what I feel looking at the spoilers and just looking at things that Taylor is saying. Before I talk to you about those spoilers, if you haven't, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, casting news, all the stuff you need to know about your favorite CBS soap. So on Tuesday, May 30th, Brooke tells Taylor basically to butt out, to stay in her lane. The question is this about Thomas and Hope, or is this somehow about Ridge and Brooke? Maybe Taylor is asking pointed questions that Brooke doesn't want to answer and just says, leave me alone. It seems like this pact is hanging on tenterhooks and might fall apart soon. Then on Wednesday, May 31st, Taylor tells Brooke her real motives, and it doesn't say about what. So there's three things that could be about. It could be about Thomas and Hope. It could be about Taylor trying to fix Brooke up with Deacon, or it could be about Ridge. Maybe Taylor says, I want Ridge for myself. Maybe she comes clean about that. Maybe she comes clean that that's why she's trying to fix Brooke up with Deacon next week. Then on Thursday, June 1st next week, Ridge admits something shocking. So I'm wondering if that is him admitting that he's been seeing Brooke secretly and not telling anybody. That same day, we see Taylor behaving dishonestly. That's the spoiler. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if she's lying, and that's when, maybe she tries to trick Ridge and says, oh, Brooke told me what y'all are doing, and then he confesses. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack. So already we saw Brooke ditch hunky younger bartender Hollis and said she didn't want to see him. And then she kind of was hinting around about Ridge, it felt like to me, while she was having lunch at Il Giardino with Taylor. She told Taylor, I want to be with someone that I have a history with, someone who knows me and that I know. Maybe in her head, Taylor heard, oh, Brooke's talking about Deacon, but maybe Brooke was talking about Ridge and trying to drop some breadcrumbs for Taylor to follow so it wouldn't be such a shock if she had to say, look, Ridge and I have been dating behind your back. I mean, friendship pact aside, Brooke and Ridge are adults. They can certainly date if they want to. Morally and ethically, they should have probably told Taylor. But maybe they wanted to see if it was going to work out between them. Maybe that's the excuse they're going to use. Who knows? They are adults. They're consenting adults. They can do what they want. But I really wonder if we're about to find out about this off-screen romance that's been going on between Brooke and Ridge for the past few weeks, maybe a couple of months. I don't know. What do you think? Tell us in the comments.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.